privileged to have a young lady in the name of Mabel. She's a junior sprinter for England, and of course, she started from when she was quite young, and she's going to be telling us more with the mom about how she started, how she got into being a sprinter that we all know today. And one unique thing about this channel is that we all endeavor to go back to the background, bring the real heroes, which are the parents most times, the guardian, before we get to know who this person is. So that's why we're interviewing Mabel Akande and the mom today. So, Mabel, can you tell us more about yourself? Can you introduce yourself more to our viewers, please?
My name is Mabel Akande. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a British 100 meter sprinter. I am a Commonwealth youth silver medalist, as well as a world semi-finalist, and also a European silver medalist in the 100 and the 4x1.
To today. So, once again, you are welcome. Can you take us back to when you first discovered athletics? What sparked your
Um,
interest?
I think I first discovered athletics back. Well, I wouldn't say started professionally, but I think my first love for athletics was probably when I was younger, watching it on TV, Olympics, the Worlds. I think that was my first interest in athletics, and I think it all started really from primary school. Athletics, I think watching it on TV with
Okay.
my parents, if it's the Olympics, and I think watching Usain Bolt's 100, from both Usain Farah. And then I think my interest was piqued because both my parents are quite athletic. So my dad used to compete for India when he was in uni as well in the sprint. And my mum, she also did athletics as well as football. So I think I've always had that interest for athletics and sport as a whole. And I think it was in primary school, specifically for sprinting, is where I was very good. I think you can tell I was very good at sports day um, with it. I think that just started piquing the interest there.
Okay, that's a very interesting one. Did you say mom was a footballer when she was quite
Yeah,
young?
mum used to play football.
We're
Yeah.
not
Oh, that's
professionals.
that's good. I think to the tip of the tip of the ice, the block. So that's good. So, what was your childhood like, and how important was sports to yourself in those early days?
I think my childhood was very. I mean, I was born in Nigeria, so I think the moving from Nigeria to the UK, I think that had its. I think my childhood was very. I think it was a very. I say special childhood. I think because I moved to a different country completely, starting a new life, and then also I think trying to integrate into I guess the UK. And I think sport is the one thing I think was a common denominator both in Nigeria and both in the UK. I think that really helped because sport doesn't get different between countries, if you get what I mean. Like sport is the same in Nigeria as it is in the UK, in the same way you play football, the same way you sprint. So I think that was very important as well, sports wise, that it was something that you didn't really have to would you learn how to do again or know what to think of it because it's the same thing. So I think that was very important.
Yeah, that's it, really. And how this takes me to the next question. How many siblings do you have, and are they also into sports?
Oh yeah, I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and my sister's getting it. She's a everything type of person. So she used to do gymnastics before, but currently she's doing athletics as well. We both go to the same club. My brother, which he's just went today, does football as well. So he's in academy for that as well. So yeah.
So we're gonna be saying that you guys are Serena Williams of athletics, yourself and your sister. So because the
Yeah.
two of you, since you said she's also into athletics,
Yeah,
so
and I think the sister is now start competing as well.
okay.
Um,
Yeah.
so I
No,
think we're gonna be
that's
seeing more of her as well.
wow. That's really good. That's great. And mom, I'm gonna come to you in a second. You know, who were the key people? Mabel, do you think who were the key people that guided and encouraged your journey? Family, teachers, or coaches?
For me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
Okay.
come to mom later. Yeah,
Okay.
you now. Yes.
I think Well, speaking started from the get go, I think teachers, I think especially my teacher, my PE teacher, I think he was definitely one of the driving forces to where I am today. I think one of the triggering forces. Yeah, he was the one that I had to do my GCSEs, and he encouraged me that, oh, I should do sports studies for my GCSE. That if I do athletics, because you have to do a sport outside of school, if I do athletics, I will get a really good grade. So, he was one of those that like pushed the idea of let's do athletics, really good, and really encouraged me to sign up to a club, get started with the club as well. And I think that he's very important in my, because I think without him, I probably would have done maybe another sport completely, but he definitely pushed me towards the athletics route. And then definitely, I mean, my mum as well, and my parents for, encouraging me and driving me here and there and taking me to different competitions, taking me to training in the winter and the summer. So I really thank my mum as well. And then I think my coach as well is very, very, very important in this. I think, sure, I had like, let's say, as some would say, the natural talent, but she definitely put her expertise and her skills into, pushing and you say it's kind of like a flower, allowing it to bloom and really be at its full potential. So yeah, thank them as well.
Yeah, and this is why I said this interview especially, and that's one thing that I'm gonna start doing. It's gonna be different from what it used to be. It's about time that people start knowing the heroes that are behind the sport personalities. So that's why we're doing this. So you can imagine you saying all this about mom, what she's been able to give to yourself. And that is why I'm always like, when you're saying athletes, we need to see the heroes behind them. Mom, once again, thanks for everything you've done. Like I said, I'm gonna come to you, but let me just go on with Mabel now. So do you remember your first medal or competition win? And what does it mean to you?
I think my first like proper competition would be English schools in 2022 English schools, I think. Yeah, 2020 English schools. This is where like all English. So you represent your county. So I would represent Lincolnshire, and you'd qualify. So students who are still in school, preferably secondary school, would all come together and compete against each other. So it's kind of like a county, but it's with all English schools, and it's a massive thing actually, English schools, and it's the like I could say it's one of the peak of, I mean, a young athlete's career. I think English schools is so important. So I think as English schools, I think I was pretty much a novice. Like I didn't really know what I was doing. If I'm so honest, I didn't really expect much. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was so nervous. Yeah, I think I just. If you see the video, I try to not look at the video sometimes, but I'm left in the blocks as well. So it's not one of my best races. Well, it's not my best race there is, but yeah, I just kind of I think I just ran. Like this is where when you're like free in the wind, I just ran. That's the gun one. I just ran, and yeah, it proved to be a success as well, because then I came back with a gold medal, which I didn't think would happen. I don't think my mom thought it would happen either. But yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay. So look at you now. You said you didn't know what you were doing before, but look at you
Yeah.
now. So it's always like that. So
Yeah.
when you start things initially, it's always like, oh, do I even know what I'm doing? When you joined the Lincoln Wellington athletic clubs, what sort of environment did the club give you as a grown athlete? What did they how did they welcome you? What reception were you given?
I think coming there, I think my first time I went there, I mean, I was really nervous because it's a new setting. I've never been in a club before, and especially an athletics club, and it was a new setting, so I was very nervous. It's like starting school again, in a new setting. But I think the moment I walked into the club and was introduced into the club, I've felt welcomed ever since. I felt included ever since, which I'm really thankful for. I think first session, I was so nervous. Everybody was like, "Hi, how are you? Da, da, da. What school do you go to?" It's from the get go. It was very inclusive. And then I was doing the younger group, the youth group, and before I moved into the senior. And now I'm in the senior. I'm even moving into the senior. Initially, I was one of the youngest in the senior, but now we've got new people come through. And even then, I still felt, because we've got a wide range of ages as well. So even then, I still felt very included, and it felt like a family, actually. So I think that was one of the great things about our club is you feel included and you feel like a family, and it's a great like support system all around and between athletes and between coaches.
Okay, so obviously, I think you're a great ambassador to Lincoln Wellington because the way you spoke about them, highly of them, that's really commendable if you ask me. So tell us about Coach Denise Timmis and
Okay.
how has she shaped your career so far?
Um, Denise, Denise has been great in like my career as a whole. She's been, I mean, she's been. There's so many words I could say of Denise, but none of them amount to obviously the type of coach she is. She's incredible. Her knowledge on the track is incredible. The way she can, because I think every athlete has a different style of training. And I think with her, we just get each other very well. Like she understands the way I learn because it's like being in school athletics. You know, you're learning every day. You're not 100% perfect, so you're learning new things about yourself, new things about the sport itself. So I think, but for both of us, I think she's able to adapt to how I like to learn. So I'm visual, but also I like being told as well how to do things. So she knows how to do that, and then her knowledge as well in perfecting even the smallest things to the biggest things. And I think yeah, that just makes her incredible coach. And I think she's also female as well, so she's also very inspiring as well. I think for me as well, especially as a female in the sport. And I think she's just so inspiring. And she's definitely a core part of my athletic success as a whole. So I'm very grateful for her.
That's good. So she's also a hero, if you ask me, because
Yeah.
from what you've said about her, that's really commendable. Like I said, what's your going to training now? So what's your typical training routine? What does it look like across the week? Can you take us through?
Um, well, and if we start with the week, let's start with Sunday. Sunday, I might either, depending on how the church rota goes as well, I might either go to the track on a Sunday, or it depends how close the competition is. If we haven't really had time to train as much as we would, especially for me this year, where I had my A levels, but then we would chuck in a Sunday session close to a competition to get maybe some block session or some extra technical sessions. And then Monday, I'll just stay active. It's kind of a rest day. Me staying active is going on walks, doing a bit of mobile stuff, stretching. Then Tuesday, I'm back on the track again. So Tuesdays normally, we like to call it the hardest sessions. So that's like 150s, 120s, stuff that really builds on our speed endurance. And then Wednesday, I'm at my gym, at my physio, at Spectrum Wellness. So I'll do strength and conditioning, do weights, building, do small technical things that will just add to an extra touch on the track. Then was it Wednesday, then Thursday, I'm back on the track again. So this is more speed fine tuning sessions, so shorter sessions. Then Friday, I'm staying active, recovering from the last 3 days of work. And then Saturday, we're back on the track again. So Saturdays mainly, it depends. If we're in season, I'll be on the track doing maybe blocks or some finer tuning. If not, I might still, which is more regularly, I might be at the gym as well. So doing extra gym work. We have longer, so we can do gym and physio. And yeah, so that's
Okay.
how my week typically looks like.
Wow, that's pretty packed up, if you ask me. And
Yeah.
I whilst we're saying all this, because you mentioned that, of course, you guys came in from Nigeria. Do you get to eat Nigerian food at all? Because from the way you're saying it, and from what's being from a sports background myself, there are lots of nutritionists come into play, telling you what to eat, the diet thing. So, does Nigerian food play any role in all this? Or do you just be like, oh, let me just adhere strictly to the nutritionist? How can you take us through? Because our viewers definitely want to know. Do you take Nigerian food?
Yeah, I still eat my Nigerian food. I still eat my pondos, my ebas, my efos, my egusi, all the stuff, my rice, my jollof rice, fried rice. But I take things. I don't eat it in the same way like I would typically. I have to be extra cautious. I think with what I eat and in the quantities I eat. I think quite a lot of us we like to take our pondo. We like it to be big portions compared to alcohol. So I think I look at my portion size. So maybe more of the stews, more of their goose, more of their efos, more of the meats, and less of the actual like swallows and the carbs. And then with my rice, same thing, maybe substituting it for brown rice and small things like that just make a difference. Like moi moi, for example, this was using beans, we use lentils. So small little, I'm still eating the same thing, but just the small ingredients that could just put it between the line of healthy and not so healthy for an athlete is what I change. So just to maximize the best of each nutrients in the food as well.
Okay, because of course, you wouldn't want to miss mom's food for anything anyway. So
No,
definitely
exactly.
be like, no, I'll have to eat this. Mom, like I said, we're gonna come to you very soon. Please, just bear with us. So, what's some of the challenges or the biggest challenge you faced before achieving your personal best in the 60 meters and 100 meters?
Like there's challenges throughout. I think two of the biggest things I think of is consistency. I feel like, but for me personally, when I started athletics, I don't think I was that consistent. Which you could see, I still PB, but there was so much left in me. Like I had so much to give. So I think consistency is a big thing, especially this year where I've kind of not struggled with consistency, but struggled to produce the same thing. I'm because I've had exams, so it's been a bit of a thing. But I think but I've still persevered, and I think having that perseverance, having that consistency is, I think, a key to success. Because even though missing a training session, sure, it's not a big thing, but I feel like you want to keep with a routine and keep consistent with your training, keep consistent with your diet, keep consistent with your gym work, and just keeping that consistent, I think, helps you stick to the path because all the work builds up like 1% each time, which is really helpful. And then secondly, I think one of the challenges is balancing different parts of life. If it's academic, with my sporting life, with my social life, I think, especially this year, I think quite a lot of challenges with that because of my exams. These are A levels, which are very important into getting into university. So I really needed to focus. So I think managing, came back from a hard training session, but I have to revise because my exam is next week. Like I have to revise. So dragging myself off and then like, oh, I have to meet my friends here, but oh no, I've got training or I've got a competition this time. So I think finding is and they're all equally important, but I think it's finding that balance and prioritizing which one's more important at the moment. There are times where I'll be like, I'm meant to meet with my friends, but I know that I have this really important competition. And I'm thankful God to all of them. They're so understanding as well. And they can see the hard work's coming through, which I'm thankful for them for. So, it's easier for me to explain. I can't make it to this competition. I can't make it to this arrangement. I think two biggest challenges I think is working on consistency and because everybody feels lazy once in a while when you don't want to do things.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the second thing is balancing all parts of social life and of different well-being. So social, academic, sporting, mental, balancing all of that. It is quite tricky, but it is possible.
Yeah, I was gonna mention the social life. I'm glad you were able to mention that because, of course, youngsters of your age definitely they want to, just chill, relax with their friends. So for you to have been definitely you're committed. Don't say you're inconsistent. You are consistent to me. For you to have achieved what you've achieved, so definitely you are, you are very very consistent. So we're going to representing England now. And at what point did you decide to, you know, that I fully want to commit to representing England? At what point did you did you realize that?
I think possibly started. I think my first England vest was at Schools International. So after English schools, because I came first, I got to represent Schools Internationals in Ireland. So I think that was when it hit me like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually quite good at this. I'm very, very good at this. And then I did it again the next year. And then I got another England vest. And then the year after, I got another England vest for Commonwealth Youth. Then the year after, I got my GB vest and for Love for International. And then I started getting GB vests for Worlds. I got a GB vest for Euros and more GB vests were being called. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this is actually like, maybe I am really good at this. And this is when I started the fact that they're calling me up multiple times just showed that they believed in me and I have what is capable. So that's when I knew that, yeah, I wanted to, in the future, maybe go to Olympics or, really reach for the top, top, top.
Oh, that's good. So, and how are the fellow athletes? How is your interaction with them? Do you get along? How do you mix with others?
I mean, you meet loads of different athletes. On every competition, you meet different athletes, and you see the few of the frequent athletes, and then some of the athletes you end up being teammates in with. So I think it's a really good balance. I think that's what makes the sport quite exciting, actually, because it's kind of friendly. It's competition, but I say friendly competition, but it's still very much competition. some of these people you could end up being really close with, which is why I'm so thankful for the sport, because I've met some of my closest friends at different competitions, some of the girls and the guys that I've become really close with, and I'm so thankful for that. 1 minute, especially when you're in the same kind of race, or for us girls who are in the same like 100, 60, 200, there's the competition there. When we're on the line, it's competition. You're focusing on your lane. You know what I mean? When you're in the competition, you're in the competition. But then outside of the competition, we all get on really well and like all friendly. And yeah, it's like sometimes you question like when you're all warming up, are we even friends? Because everybody's so, focused on the competition. But I think the nature of the sport makes you get on really, really well with people, especially when you start traveling together, going to competitions together, where you're with each other outside of sport, like outside of competition time. So I think that's what, yeah, it's amazing.
So I'm going to ask mom this. You know, how did you feel coming from Nigeria and having your daughter being called up by, the Great Britain Athletics Club to represent England? How does it feel as a mom? You know, can you tell us? Can you take us through that?
As a parent, I think every parent wants their child to do well, and then in whatever they're doing, they want to be so proud. And then I'm so proud, for my daughter, and she knows that. And everybody who are quite very close to me knows say I'm a very proud mom. And then she came into England when she was 4 or nearly 4 years old. And then from there, you never, imagine or plan that, oh, this is what's going to happen to my daughter. It was never part of the plan, to be honest with you. But man proposes and God disposes. So whenever I think the first competition where she won, and I know that, oh, this is looking so real, was English um, school that she talked about. She went in there, I thought, so go and do it and just come back home. And then I watched the semi-final. I saw the massive gap she gave the rest, and then she won, and then she has to do semi-final the next day. Even as at the time I had COVID and I was poorly. Then I thought, oh, if she can do that, oh, I really want to go and see her like 5. So I had to travel that same day in the morning to go and watch her, and I was so proud when she won, and they asked us to go to international section to get a kit for English international, and I was so proud of her. So I'm so proud of what she has achieved in that short period of time. Yeah,
That's really fantastic. I can imagine the pride and the smile. Yeah, that's my daughter. That's my girl. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's a good thing. And being an African mom again, especially Nigerian mom, be like, yes, that's my daughter. So yeah,
that's my dad. And every competition, anybody who cares to listen or to hear, I always scream anytime she's running. Even though she doesn't hear me screaming, but I'm always scream on top of my voice. Anyone around me will see me screaming, shouting. Yes, that's to tell you how excited and proud.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
The
always
yeah,
yeah,
the Nigerian factor is always coming to
always
play. I know. Like, yeah, yeah,
it's
that's
always
my.
there.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine. That's really good. So we're going back to Mabel now. Looking back, Mabel, you know, at your silver medal at the European, under 20 championships this summer, what stands out most from the experience? What stood out that wow most from that?
I think most of that was the level of competition, really. I mean, that level of competition is the same throughout, from county to national to international. But I think the atmosphere, particularly, especially in the international competition, is so much different. I mean, not only are you competing against people from different parts of the world who have different cultures, different customs, and even different languages, I think it's also people who have different ways of training, different ways of preparing for competition, which is really interesting to experience. And even in the call room, like some people, like I'm used to, being quiet, getting in the zone, while some of the athletes are not so used to being. They're used to, having a, little gleeful moment, and so it's fun. I think looking back, maybe not in the moment because I'm a bit nervous in the moment, but looking back at it now, I think that's definitely one of the best experiences about it. And also as well, as I'm part of the relay, I think one of the best experiences experiencing like the success with other people, I think. So yeah, like with especially with the relay girls who I'm very close with and really love. I think to be able to experience not only a silver medal but to share that experience with other people and know other people are possibly feeling the same way as you just makes you feel like and being in that teamwork frame that
Yeah.
just makes you feel like it's a different feeling completely.
Yes.
I think one of the
Yes.
key parts is the relay. Yeah.
Yes. I was gonna say that too. Representing Great Britain, as in I'm representing UK. That's what's I was gonna say that. Do you experience that? But I'm not gonna let myself down because I'm representing a whole,
Yeah.
you know. So that's what I felt too. So between the 60 meters indoor and the 100 meters outdoor, which event do you enjoy most and why?
Well, they both have their pros and cons, you see. I mean, 60 meters is shorter. I'm not saying I'm exactly lazy, but it's shorter. And, it's indoors, so you're not as cold. But 100 meters, I think 100 meters for the win, 100 meters has that, it's got the extra 40 meters as well compared to the 60. And I feel like with the 60, it's just so short. You blink and it's over with. I think not only watching, but also as an athlete as well. While with 100, anything can happen, you could, it really assesses every single part of, you as an athlete from the start to the middle section to the end. And I feel like that's so exhilarating, not only to watch, but also to running in it as well, because you can really like think about what you're doing throughout the whole thing. Because you're like, okay, keep pushing, keep. And I think, yeah, I think I prefer the 100.
That's really good. That's what I was thinking too. That the 100 meters, some people prefer that, and now, like you said, probably because of the cold thing, that you prefer the indoor games or something like that. So I would love to transition to mom. And for those of you that are just joining us, we've been talking to Mabel Akande, and yesterday happened to be a birthday too. So it's happy belated birthday to yourself. I was
Thank
gonna
you very
miss it. I don't know for whatsoever reason. I'd be like, okay, I don't know why I started like that, but happy birthday to you. When you said, because I remember a few days ago you said 18. When you said 19, I'd be like, okay, what? Oh yeah, it's up. So
much.
yes, happy birthday once again.
Thank you very much.
And now, mom, we're coming to you now. What was Mabel like as a child? Did you see any sign at her speed and energy, early years?
Not particularly, but I think one of the things that stood out for her when she was growing up was uh, the way she walks then. She walks like on her tiptoes, which I was worried about. And then I remember I was worried, like, oh, what's happened? Maybe her feet is not, it's too short, one of it. So, and then we tried to seek help, but we were told like we should just leave it. The dad, being a medical person, said we should just leave it, no surgery. And then she just left it like that because it was more particular just for future in case if she's going to do a sport that we don't want to do any surgery or something like that. And I think she was quite very sturdy, very strong girl when she was growing up, very strong. She's got a lot of stamina, as a young girl. And then as she even in her class, I remember when she was in primary school, she was the tallest and very like built among them. You know that she's quite a very strong lady, and then she's very determined, very focused. And I used to say I call her my pace setter. Like she know what she wants and she go for it. I think that's one of the things that's actually helped her up to this stage. Very focused, very committed, and very hardworking. Yeah, as a young girl, and that you can actually see that now in terms of her academics when she was growing up, she was quite very focused, and then so yeah.
That's really good. As an athlete, probably when she started, because you said the way she was built, I think it's part of the journey, and
Yeah.
it brings out the best in us. So I'm really glad that the help that you said dad was able to tell you that you just leave her like that. So that's really a good thing.
That's the way God, yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the challenges you saw her facing along the way? Do you know when you started, what are some of the things that you saw her
Oh, yeah,
challenges?
there was quite a lot of challenges. Maybe she's very competitive.
Okay.
So, and No, just generally in terms of academics, sports, she really wants to do well in whatever she does. She puts all her best into it. And I think one of the things is that in the recent time, especially when her dad passed, and then she was asked to do competition. I think a week or two after her dad's passing, she did indoor British charm, where she won bronze. So for her to be able to come out, other people would actually crash down or break down. And because she was determined and she said, I won't let, the passing of my dad to delay me. She put all her best into it. That's where her competitive nature showed. And then during her exam, sometimes she will have a competition and she will still have to write exam. You can see her trying to juggle everything together, and it does pay off, hard work, determine, focus, and try to put all our best into it. And then sometimes she get overwhelmed, I'm not gonna lie, and that's one of the challenges. Like, she get overwhelmed with it, like, I don't even know what to do. And mostly when she's not able to socialize with her friends or miss out on any family function where she needs to do competition or to go to school to do any exam, that can, affect her a little bit. But she's quite a very strong lady, and I'm always encouraging her. And then, so yeah.
That, that's really good. Of course, every when you're in England, there are always challenges you face.
Yeah.
Work, commitments, taking out for all those games. So I can imagine what you must have gone through. So that's really a good thing that you're able to come out on top of that. So how would you describe a personality, you know, away from athletics? As because I know African parents don't think because you're representing. No, you have to do that. So so how would you describe outside athletics, our personalities outside
Yeah,
athletics?
she's quite a very hardworking girl. I'm not gonna lie about that. She's very focused. She's a child of God. She loves God.
Yeah,
I think I can say, like, you can only do your bit as a parent, but on her own she find Christ by herself. So she loved God, and then she's very hardworking. She's a core home girl. She does chores, everything. Even there was a day she I think we came back from a competition where she won gold, and I was like, maybe I've been driving for like ages. You need to come home and make Eba. So she came home. Even in her athletics year, she still made some food for us.
oh,
She's
that's
very supportive, you know. And since our situation actually changed, she's very supportive. She's always, I work as well. So sometimes when I'm at work, she's the one who look after her younger ones, which is quite very good. She helped me. I have a business which I run. Even with that, with athletics, with school, she helped me to, manage my cake business and all sort of that. So she's quite very, supportive child. She doesn't put pressure. She listens. She listen, and as African parents, when you say no, this is the best way to go, she just
yes.
go back. Initially she was like, no, 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 but she go back, she reflect, and she takes, she makes use of those words. So
That's
she's an assistant head usher in the church. So
oh,
she doesn't joke with the things of God.
that's
Very
good.
respectful. I
That's
think
good.
everybody in our community will say that she's very, very respectful.
Yeah.
Wherever she see you, she doesn't even mind whether you are Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, she'll still kneel down to greet
Wow.
people. So
That's
yeah.
good.
So, and everyone can say that she's very respectful, and then very, very kind girl. Not too proud. Yeah,
that is very good. I mean,
yeah.
that's your
And I do say
best.
that to her, like, no, you don't tell me because you are now a celebrity, or I'm still your mom. So
I,
you need to listen to me.
I can imagine. I've been waiting for that Nigerian
I
fact to
don't know.
school out, but I
We
like the
do
fact
have that
that
all the time, most of the time. But she doesn't give me reason to say that all the time. But once in a while, as an African mom, you still say that.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Even you're never too old for your mom or your parents. The
Yeah.
African
Yeah.
thing is there, so it's really a good thing. I mean, for mom to have said all those things, so that means you have a very good quality, which has kept you grounded, and that's really a good thing. We're so proud of yourself. And one last question from mom before I answer you the last question, Mabel. So, as a parent, how did you feel watching her compete in the international stage? as a mom? How do you feel?
Wow. So if I have to describe it, I would just say proud.
That's
And
good.
sometimes I get emotional about it when I see her, and then I feel so like wow, wow, amazing. And then I just thank God, because if they said, oh, especially when she won the European Union, and I see a picture as on the English England athletics, British athletics, proud, and I didn't stop sharing as to share with people, like, you know, I feel like wow, 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 wow. So this is my daughter, and then I just thank God for her life and how far God has helped her, and then I think every parent will be so proud. I'm so
Yeah,
proud of her. So proud.
that's. I was gonna say that. That's and I'm glad that you did mention that sometimes you're emotional. It can be
Yeah.
overwhelming,
Yeah.
that wow, this is my daughter. So I can imagine that. So maybe I'm so proud of you. Just looking at what mom is saying, you know that she's, you know, filled with pride for what you've achieved. So one last question for yourself before we go, because we can keep on going, because definitely there are lots of things. You know, what would you say for your fans, for the young ones that are looking at you, not just in England, but even in the African continent? Because I know that at some point, people are gonna be like, you're gonna be an household name. I know it.
Yes.
Just the way you've been doing, I've been following your journey. So what do you say to the upcoming that just coming in? What advice do you have for that?
I mean, the big thing is if you love something or you're passionate about something, I think you should go for it. Like there should be nobody should stop you or persuade you away from trying to do something you're passionate or that you love. And also, I think just never give up. Really, no matter what hardship, no matter what hurdles may come your way, no matter what boulders. I think once you have that passion for something and you have your sight for something, go for it. Don't let anything get in the way of you going for it. And also, don't forget how you got there, and don't forget God in everything you do as well. I think sure you may have the talent and everything, but how everything aligns itself for you to be able to do something can only be by God's doing, by God's mercy, by God's power. So I think really do not forget God. Don't get too big in your head like, I did this, I did that. Just keep going for what you want. Put your faith in everything God. Even when it doesn't work out well, that is not like telling you, oh, you're not worthy of doing something. I think that's just a way of making your final story more greater and more like, wow, I came from here. No path is ever straight. So I think honestly, just keep going. Remember God in everything you do. Center Him in everything you do, because at the end of the day, God only wants good for us. If you have a passion and a faith and a talent, every talent somebody has is God given. It's not by chance. Every talent is something to really take that talent, really take what you have, take it with your hand and really go for it. And yeah, don't let anything stop you or get in the way.
So it's been so wonderful listening to you and your mom, the way you've been talking. I just feel that you're way past your age when it comes to wisdom, being able to talk. So, and I will say thank you so much for finding the time to talk to myself, coming on this platform. Thanks for mom for granting us this interview session. And definitely, like I said, I'm following your journey. I will still, continue following you. Definitely, there's still gonna be more time that we're gonna be able to bring you on here again to talk to us. I have to say thank you for my crew, and it's been nice talking to you. It's been nice talking to our future world, superstar in athletics. So thank you so much for your time. And mom, thanks for granting us this interview. Until next
Thank
time,
you for having us. Thank you.
it's it's bye
Thank
from
you.
me now.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for
Bye.
Bye.
having
Thank you very
us.
much.